I've said before, I really like Marco's singing voice. There's just something about it. Our last Nightwish video in which he sung was The Phantom of the Opera. That one was a special one for me because it was my first time hearing Tarja sing as opposed to Floor Jansen. Well, today we're going back to the same concert because this is a tribute to Pink Floyd with High Hopes. Comments have let me know that this was performed during one of Tarja's costume changes, so Marco will be our frontman here. Oh, look at those fingernails. Just quickly, I forgot to say, by the time you're watching this now, I would have just released a video on the original song by Pink Floyd. Super, super interesting song. They did some really, really cool things with the music, which I, of course, dive into a little bit, and I will probably be referencing in this video. So if you haven't seen that video yet, please do check it out. I'll leave it linked below in the pinned comment. All right, I believe these are Thomas's black fingernails. The keyboard's upside down. Who's gonna tell him?
Beyond the horizon, oh, the place we lived when we were young, in a world of magnets and miracles. Our thoughts strayed constantly, and without boundary, the ringing of the division bell had begun. Along the long road, long down to the causeway, will they still meet there by the cut? There was a ragged band that followed.
Oof, that bass note from Marco.
There was a ragged band
Ringing out, a somewhat elegant way of playing as well with his hand just stuck there. I am excited what to come. We will do a quick pause now. I just want to go over a few things from what we've heard so far, the introduction. When we continue in just a moment, I want to play the pre-chorus straight through the chorus as a whole because I find the chorus really interesting in the original song. I am curious to see what Nightwish and Marco do with it, assuming they keep the same structure as the song, of course. Also, I have been sent quite a few times a 10-minute video on YouTube that explains the history of Nightwish, how they formed, how they evolved, the struggles they went through, etc. So I'll be reacting to that too after this, if you're interested in seeing that with me. Also, in the pinned comment, I will leave a link to that one. All right, speaking of the bass.
along the long road, long down.
In my video on the original song, at that same moment, I pointed out this is the first time we get any sort of movement in the bass line.
Along the long road, and on down.
We get that here with Nightwish and, of course, Marco playing the bass. It's just as exaggerated. So clearly, Nightwish value this moving bass line and its importance, its significance, just as much as I do. Or actually, probably, I value it as much as they do. Until a couple of days ago, I'd never even heard High Hopes. As we heard as well in the differences between these two clips.
Along the long road, long down.
In the original, the bass line is a little bit lower than Nightwish. Nightwish have moved the key from here to here. They're in D minor. Why a little bit higher? Who knows? Could be many reasons. One reason maybe is that D minor is my favorite key. I'm sure when Nightwish were arranging this, they had this consideration in mind. But the main reason I think is it's better suited for Marco's voice. We're going to hear the chorus, therefore, a little bit higher, which I'm very excited for. The other main thing, of course, is the opening. Different to the original song, which opens with these church bells, but then it kind of settles. The piano part is different, it's chordal, and we have the bell coming in on the offbeat. Dum cha, dum bell. Nightwish instead are just using individual notes on the piano. And the note on the offbeat, unlike in the original, is moving. In the original, the bell is just playing. the same note, not moving. In the original, the bell is one of, if not the most prominent feature of the song. It stands out, considering the album name as well, the Division Bell, and in the video we had all this imagery of bells. Nightwish obviously don't have huge church bells here, they're not in a church, but Thomas's synthesizer it's somewhat redolent of a bell sound. Well, it kind of is a bell, a synthetic-y sounding bell, right? I think this here with Nightwish creates a slightly more peculiar feel, slightly stranger, maybe even a bit more mysterious or magical. The original sound is quite haunting. Maybe it's easier for me to say that retrospectively, having seen the video of the original song, but I still stand by it. And just before we carry on, the point I made in my first few videos, I think, of ever seeing Nightwish was the audience clapping along. I find it funny here how immediately they're clapping. If there's any part of this song one might suggest not to clap in, it's probably the introduction. There's no percussion yet, keeping things in a very clear regimented rhythm. There is tempo rubato, literally meaning in robbed time, so freedom of rhythm between Thomas and Marco here. They can kind of slow down a little bit, but the audience love it, and clapping is a sign of support for the artist, right? So even though 20 seconds in, they've already fallen out of time a little bit, it is nice to see. If you're curious, by the way, in which Nightwish videos I've done so far, the Nightwish playlist of mine will be linked below in the description. All right, I won't say any more for now. Let's carry on. I'm really keen to hear the chorus and see how Marco treats it. I have an image in my mind and I'm very curious to see how wrong or right I might be. Probably wrong.
There was a ragged band that followed in our footsteps, running before time took our dreams away, leaving the myriad small creatures that tried to tie us to the ground, till life consumed by slow decay. The grass was greener, light was brighter, with friends surrounded, the lights of wonder. Looking beyond the embers of the bridges going behind us, to a glimpse of how green it was on the other side. Steps taken forwards, but sleepwalking back again, dragged by the force of some inner tide. When the highest sound to kill with full like a pearl, we reach the dizzy heights of that window.
Oh, wow. Empu starting his guitar solo here. We do also get a guitar solo in the original song, but it's on an acoustic or classical guitar rather than electric guitar. On the back of this shift up from Marco.
When the highest sound to kill with full like a pearl.
In the original song, the verses being down the octave.
At a higher altitude, the flag unfurled.
That's that same moment. This, in my opinion, makes the chorus, my favorite part of the song, much more impactful because they jump up in the original song for the chorus. A contrast between low down for the verses, a bit less powerful, chorus, more power. Nightwish, with Marco, things are a tiny bit higher anyway, but he has decided to jump up earlier on now. It's this injection of energy as well.
When the highest sound to kill with full like a pearl.
Yuka on the drums coming in there. He was really interesting to see.
Looking beyond the embers.
The sections when he's not playing anymore and his head was in his hands on the drums, you don't see that often, I think. And it was even more interesting when
To a glimpse of how
here you can see the cameraman filming Yuka and his head is down there. So if any of you know the answer to my next question, please let me know in the comments. Why is he down there like that? Is he really expending so much energy when performing that he physically needs the rest? Or is it just a bit more of a, not a gimmick, but maybe just, I don't know, feeling the moment maybe? Okay then, the chorus. In the original song, from the beginning, we have a drone at the bottom in the bass, and that is on the root note. which is just the note of the key of the song. We're in D minor, so D is this drone. It's consistently being heard in the original song in the bell as well. Here though with Nightwish, we've seen Marco, like I pointed out earlier, kind of play the bass note once and then let it ring out, and because the bass is a resonating string, it will eventually die, the sound. Thomas though, on his keyboard, we can see him being the drone here, holding down that left hand, and because it's an electric instrument, the sound will never die, it will always be there. Interestingly, it looks like he's actually playing an E instead of a D. I have no answer for that. Maybe this video is, for some reason, in a different key to try and avoid copyright or something. As I said before, original is C, they are D, what we can hear, but it looks like they're actually playing an E, which is even further away from the original, even higher, which means Marco is singing even higher. Really interesting. Anyway, the chorus.
The grass was greener.
Like I said in the introduction, people have mentioned to me that this is a tribute to Pink Floyd, and tribute in my mind is slightly different to just covering a song. One of my favorite parts of the original song is the bass line for the chorus. I'll transpose it into this key. That's underneath the melody on The Grass Was Greener. And then the next line, it rises. And they keep that in there. Listen out for that.
The grass was greener. Light was brighter.
So on an individual instrumental level, like bass, guitar, keyboard, etc., it's quite a loyal cover version. Harmony kept the same, melody kept the same. Obviously, there's a bit more of a heavy feel with them being Nightwish, you know, big power chord sounds. I just really like Marco's voice. I love his vibrato when he chooses to use it. Also when he chooses not to use it. Again, his tempo rubato, that rhythmic freedom, instead of just da-dum, da-dum, dum. He slows it down a little bit. And I like how he really leans into the consonant sounds. It's funny because in the video I made on the original song, I pointed out the chorus I imagine is very fun to sing, how they slide down.
And it seems like it could be quite fun to sing, as weird as that sounds. We notice how they're sliding through the notes. Instead of
and I think Marco is having a great time singing it. And his range is incredible. I love hearing his high voice. It's such a unique sound that he's able to produce. Let's carry on from his shift up the octave into Empu's guitar solo. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now. Nice little slide off.
But forever, desire and ambition, this hunger still unsatisfied. Our weary eyes still stray to the horizon. Look down this road we've been so many times.
back to the chorus again. We'll continue shortly. I like how they do just return exactly to how it was before. Really, really reduced. And to me, that's such an important part of this song. And again, maybe why the chorus is my favorite part. It's the contrast between the choruses and the verses. In the original, though, when they come back to the verses after hearing the chorus, they add in just a few subtle things. Mostly it's the same, but they make sure to add some things in there so it's not a direct repeat. Nightwish, with this being a live performance, limited in what they can do, you know, it's not a studio recording where you can just freely add in layers, that kind of thing. I think it works really well, really, really eerie. Look at this image here. Everything is just so still. Great stage presence. I would have loved to have been there to see this live at the time. Must have been so cool. Right, so we've just heard Empu's guitar solo. I love when they show the hands in such detail. You can just see how much of a natural he is and how dedicated he is to his craft, playing guitar. It just looks so natural. So yeah, I love seeing that. The guitar solo, nothing overly complex in there that I want to go over. This is a longer performance as well, so I am keen to continue. I do want to point out, though, the other parts. Tuomas, very, very important role. He's providing these chords in there with these little suspensions, notes staying over into the next chord that perhaps shouldn't do, causing these very, very subtle light dissonance in there. And it's this constant chordal sound in the background really contributes to the soundscape. And of course the drums, we're getting this very militaristic drum style of playing. And that's funny to me, this image, because when I hear this militaristic style of playing, in my original video I pointed this out as well, we have a very militaristic snare drum. Quite unsettling. This is not quite the image of that military drummer I have in mind. I think it's really cool how he's able to capture that sound whilst not once deviating from this image and, you know, everything about him, his persona, whilst he's playing. All right, we got to the chorus again. Let's carry on, see what they do here.
Grass was greener. Light was brighter. With friends surrounding. Lights of wonder. With friends surrounding. The dawn is glowing. Water flowing. The endless river.
Oh, that is, what a good way to build up things instrumentally before now entering in a chorus, same key, but Marco is just singing higher up. In other words, he's singing what would normally be a harmony part. You could stick the melody underneath. Yeah, just very, very quickly before we carry on until the end, I am aware of time. How cool is this style of playing? We're watching again. Tapping, sliding up and down, so cool. In a way, I was thinking when this guitar started, the style of it, to me, does not seem very Nightwish. I am a Nightwish noob. I've only seen them a handful of times. But if we just listen to that with your eyes closed, that, to me, sounds like it could be in a 1980s arcade game. And in Ghost Love Score, I believe, I did also mention that some of it sounds like game music to me, and there were some interesting comments in that regard. The drums as well, incredible. And again, behind all of it all, you have Thomas just sustaining those chords, filling the sound in the background. Really cool. Let's carry on until the end. We can still hear the drone. Yeah, very nice. Very good performance. Interesting ending. Can still hear the drone right till the end. Even now, after that last chord, it kind of moves away. The drone. Forever there. Drones are really interesting. I mentioned them in so many videos that I've done, whether it be a cappella or metal or something else. The more I mention them, naturally, the more I become aware of them, and I realize just how powerful of a musical device they are. Yeah, super cool to see. I really do like Marco's voice. I do. I think it's great. Definitely keen to see more of him in my future Nightwish endeavors. So as usual, let me know in the comments which videos you'd like to see me do in the future. Comments really help with the algorithm, push this video to more people. If you don't want to comment any words, let's just do an emoji. How about one of them like you see on the screen now? And of course, if you made it this far, thank you very, very much for watching. Would also really appreciate a like on the video, and I will see you next time.